Spider Spot, where you can trade in your used spiders for cash or credit. This is Spider-Man speaking.
Hey guys, welcome to part 8 of Let's Play Spider-Man Web of Shadows Amazing Allies Edition for the PS2. In the last part we went aboard a SHIELD helicarrier and of course it was infected. We fought the Jackal in an epic battle of mediocre villains. And now we're back on planet Earth, or back on the ground, where we're just hanging out in Manhattan again. Really? Remember the level before the helicarrier one?
It's raining cats and parasitic alien symbiotes out here.
Yeah, what Spider-Man says. So pretty much we're just kind of doing that again. So the telephone call we got at the beginning there, or the radio call, I don't know what that is. I don't know if Spider-Man is meant to have like a earpiece in at all times. Like, I don't think they really explain that in this game. And there's an Irish person. So yes, anyway, he got a call from Kingpin, because if you remember in the last part, in that dramatic scene at the end there, Spider-Woman was on a helicopter that crashed, and even though it was just like a dialogue box, and I was like, whatever, didn't really think much of it, apparently she had some important data, because what we've been doing this whole time is actually trying to build a sonic device to get rid of the symbiotes. It has come up, I have mentioned it, but it doesn't... Look at that key. Trying to explain the story and then just this dumb key appears on screen. Anyway, we need to track down where Jessica Drew landed so we can go get the important data so we can continue building the sonic device. And there's an Irish person again. But before we could do any of that, okay, this level, it's halfway in between being a complete delight, like that other level was, where it was just so bad and weird that it was awesome. It's halfway between that and just being dull and repetitive like the last level, because this level is complete filler. So what we're doing at the moment here is that we got to track down this important data. It's very important, we're trying to save Manhattan. But before we do that, there's an Irish bloke who has a bakery. You can't make this stuff up. There's an Irish bloke that has a bakery that needs you to find his key, and as you saw then, it was like a classic video game key. Like actually just appearing there, where it was half the size of Spider-Man, and it was just ridiculous, this really silly key, and then he has the most silly Irish accent. It's not that over the top, it's more just awful in general. And look at that, there we go, Irish bakery, just in case you didn't believe me. So in the midst of all this, trying to stop the symbiotes, we gotta help this guy with his Irish bakery, and just pretty much you gotta grab a key, then you gotta clear the area, and there's all these different pods that you have to destroy. But this level, it's like I said, it's halfway between being weird and dull, and or just too stupid. He says that every time. I know I kind of stopped myself there, but you have to stop to hear it. Every time you go up to him, it's the exact same voice clip of, "Hello there, whatever he says, something offensive to Irish people."
Hello there, young man.
Okay, cool, so we helped out the Irish bloke, we got his key, we cleared out all the symbiotes, and then this dude shows up. You kind of thought, hey, we're helping out the citizens, it's what Spider-Man does, okay, whatever. It's a bit out of place at this point in the game, because we're over halfway through at this point. I know, it's a little embarrassing, but we are over halfway through. Almost there, pretty much. But anyway, and then you run into that guy who has that really weird sound clip, and what we have to do for this guy is that, well, first of all, it involves beating up aliens. If you can even believe it. This whole level is just beating up the symbiotes for different people, and it's why I'm saying it's dull, because the tasks you get to do are enjoyable and weird, but it all just comes down to beating up symbiotes, and there's so many of them, and you just gotta beat up these pods, that it becomes very dull and repetitive, a bit like the helicarrier, because that level was very dull and repetitive, and if I keep saying dull and repetitive, then my commentary will become dull and repetitive, and we're just stuck. And this game is really rubbed off on me. But yeah, so what we have to do for this guy, he's saying that he's missing his friend, so you gotta go find his friend. So to do that, all you gotta do is just beat up all the symbiotes. But there's clearly something... Yeah, his friend is called Shecky. and it's just weird. Like, it's just weird. So, I mean, something that's been going through this whole game is that there's side quests for you to do in missions. Now, for some of these levels, they're not really side quests and you have to do them, and that's kind of the case here. I think you... There we go. That's his friend. That pillow. I would argue that's not a pillow. That does not look like a pillow. I'm pretty sure the PS2 can render a better pillow than that, but apparently that's a pillow.
Hello there, young man.
So weird. Right, so we helped the Irish baker, and now this is the crazy guy
Have a bright and sunny day.
who wants this pillow. But the pillow is full of money. In case you missed that on screen, it does say the pillow is full of money, but he's named it and everything. So I don't know if it's meant to be crazy or it's meant to be like a criminal wanting his money or what. I think he is just meant to be outright crazy, and he's just... Because the impression I got is that when he was trying to find a pillow with money in it, that you think, oh, he stole some money. You know, so he hid it in a pillow. But no, I think it's meant to be crazy, and I think it's meant to be that he doesn't trust banks, because crazy people don't trust banks. Which, okay, sure. But you do have to kill those symbiotes anyway, because then we're now on to the next quest that we have to do. It's just quest after quest. This isn't really like a mission trying to save the day. You're just doing these random quests for random people. So we're now on to the third one where you have to save this, like, the same character model 4 times. Just above you there are 4 different versions of this character model. They're exactly the same. They have the same dialogue pretty much, and you have to clear out all the symbiotes, and then after you do that you can then come up here, pick them up, put them on the floor. Pretty pointless. Like, I don't know what this was kind of meant to be. Like, you would assume that when they make you in a Spider-Man game do menial tasks for people, that it's supposed to give you that sense of your friendly everyday neighborhood Spider-Man. You know, that you're helping the common man. But usually in a game, they do it at the beginning, and then they move on to the bigger plot, and then it focuses on that. With this one, there is a bigger plot now coming in. We're just wasting our time messing around with this, just helping out people. Which, it's not even, like, it's not like, oh, there's a big alien invasion, so we gotta help out people who are trying to fight off the infection. That would be one thing. This is just random odd tasks that, yeah, they do involve the symbiotes, but you're not, like, saving anyone. Like, with that, it's just weird. Like, you pick them up, you put them down, they have their, like, hands over their head. I don't know, I think at this point I've played so many of these sort of games that look like this. You know what I mean? Bad looking PS2 games where the animations aren't quite there. It looks like PS1 animations, and oh, what an awful noise. Thanks for that. This is enjoyable. This is nice. I was trying to talk, and now I just gotta listen to this in my ear. There we go. Wonderful. Yeah, there's just something really quite charming to it, where with the PS1... Okay, and we're on to the 4th quest. But yeah, with the PS1, there's like a charm to it, because it's the first 3D game, so animation wasn't that good, and the characters weren't that good, so whatever. But with the PS2, they didn't quite have that same excuse. So, oh yeah, also impromptu loading screen. Thanks for that. So there's something really weird, where I used to look at these sort of animations and be like, ugh. Like, with the person running away with the hands over their head, obviously it's just a stiff running model, and it's ugly, and obviously that guy is ugly looking, and his animation's weird. But now I find it oddly charming at this point. That's what I was trying to say. Right, 4th pointless menial task. Pigeons are back! Yay! I know you guys wanted them, I know I did, in a very real way. So this guy is another crazy person and wants us to free his pigeons. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. When I was playing this level, right, so with that other level that I really enjoyed that was weird with the pigeons, I enjoyed it at the time. I was playing it, I was like, this is just weird. With this level, it didn't kind of feel that weird playing it. But now that I'm looking back on it, it's really weird. just what you kind of have to do. The Irish baker, the crazy pillow man, saving the, you know, the same bloody character model 4 times, and now the champion pigeon owner. Like, what? Who? Because the interesting thing is that somebody had to write this down and design it. That's what I always find fascinating about these sorts of games. They don't just happen. It's not a case of everyone gets in a room, starts programming, and just see what you get. There's a director, there's a designer, and then there's also the programmers, whatever, and they all just kind of come together as a team, and collectively this is what they came up with. So a designer had to be, hey, how about we've got to have a mission. This must have been it. They must have been like, okay, we've got to have a mission where Spider-Man is going to track down Jessica Drew to get another part. So what are we going to do in between it? And instead of saying let's invent or let's make interesting levels with cool kind of different challenges and platforming and use Spider-Man's different abilities to come up with cool levels, they were just like, let's pad it with crazy people. Let's put a ton of crazy people and a ton of weird tasks that make no sense, and there's no real reason that the players should really care, and it's ultimately a complete waste of time. They probably didn't phrase it like that. Probably. I can't say for sure they didn't. I have a feeling they did. But that seems to be what it is. So now this section, there's a cat. It's just a cat. Yeah, but you just like, so there's a ton of these different flats or apartments that you can go in. Some of them have enemies in. There's another side quest here involving another 5th quest, although you don't have to do this one. The quest is you go to each of these apartments, some of them will have like these women in, and then you just say get lost and they say thanks for the help, and that's it. You don't save them or anything, that's all you kind of got to do. And then some of these apartments just have a cat in, and then I guess it's a quest to see the cat a certain number of times. I don't know, it's just weird. I was just kind of exploring, having a look around, and there was just a cat sometimes, stiffly like modelled or whatever. It's just really weird. So let's talk a bit about the people who made this game, because I can't quite figure it out. This might be a case where I need the box again to read it. So this game was made by Amaze Entertainment, which you guys would have seen in part 1 because their logo comes up, and yeah, I'm gonna grab the case just in case. Ugh. Oh, I hated myself as I said that pun. Halfway through that pun, I hated myself. Yeah, it's Amaze Entertainment made the PS2 and PSP versions of this game, but if you go onto Wikipedia, it does not list them as a developer at all. It lists Treyarch, this bloody cat again, so weird. Yeah, it lists Treyarch, who made the 360 and PS3 versions, Kryptonite Games, who made the DS versions, and then Shaba Games, who I believe helped out with the PS3 and 360 versions. Couldn't say for sure. It doesn't list Amaze Entertainment. They do have a Wikipedia page, right? So good for them. This bloody cat, it's so dumb. Oh, I kind of love it. Yeah, so they do have a Wikipedia page, and they're like an American company, but I was trying to figure out who these guys were or what other games they made. I could not figure it out. I could not find out. There probably is. I didn't try that hard, but if Wikipedia can't tell you, that's really a bad sign. For no reason, here's Venom talking to you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't figure out who made this game, because on the Wikipedia page it lists Kryptonite Games as being a part of Amaze Entertainment, but Kryptonite Games made the DS version and Amaze Entertainment made the PS2 and PSP version, so I don't know why, like, according to Wikipedia, Kryptonite Games is part of Amaze Entertainment, so I don't know what's going on, because on Amaze Entertainment they list a ton of different licensed games that they've like been involved with or made games for, but they don't say what the games are. They just list like Spider-Man, Bionicle, or whatever. But I know that Kryptonite Games have made a ton of licensed games. I'm sorry if this isn't interesting to you guys. I mean, I'm just talking about the developers at this point. But it's just weird. It's weird when you kind of want to look up who made this game and what else did they do, and I couldn't get that done. So if anyone else knows what games Amaze Entertainment, specifically Amaze Entertainment, because that's who's listed as making this game, what else they also made, then, you know, give me a shout, let me know, because I'm kind of interested. I'm always interested in who, you know, oh, they made this, but what else did they also make? You know, I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. So here's another annoying section. We got to help out some more people, of course. This time it makes a bit more sense. We got to help out the Tron Shield guys. But it's just kind of annoying where there's these pods that keep spawning in the symbiotes, and those pods have been throughout this whole level. It's just, they're just kind of normal pods or whatever, you just beat them up a bit. But now what the pods can do, which they couldn't in earlier levels, is that they have spikes on them sometimes. So if you're not careful, well, it's not about being careful, you got to attack them at the right time so they don't have spikes, so you can take them out. So what we're doing here is that there's 2 shield agents, and you got to make sure the symbiotes don't attack them too much, because if the symbiotes are attacking the shield agents, the pod grows spikes. I don't know how that works, but whatever, it's fine. So this is just a little tedious, can just take a while. The first time you defeat all the symbiotes, it shows you a cutscene saying, hey look, now the pods don't have spikes on them, but the other times it doesn't. So you kind of just have to swing down, get the symbiotes off the shield agents, and then just head up. Because even though the game doesn't tell you that the spikes are gone, they're probably gone if you've defeated a few symbiotes. And they are infinite, so this can be quite annoying to do this. But anyway, I mentioned in the last part how I upgraded all my stuff. I figured out that the skill manager has a ton of skills related to damage and health. So this is the first part where I've actually upgraded my damage. Unfortunately, it's still dull. I did not notice much of a difference in terms of Spider-Man's like damage output, I guess, or his strength. I still found it really tedious fighting enemies. There were still way too many of them. Maybe I was saving an extra hit, but that was about it. So I have, there's 3 different upgrades for strength for how much damage you deal out. So I did the first 2 in this part, or before this part begun, but didn't really do much. So it seems a little bit, yeah, you can upgrade your stuff, and you probably should because you get enough skill points and experience. That is kind of be dumb not to. Not much of a difference at all. So my point about the combat system and the RPG or whatever still stands, and that's it doesn't really add much or whatever. It's just kind of there for its own sake. Definitely not like the DS version where there's a direct consequence to everything you buy. That's how you should do it. If you're gonna have RPG elements like this where it's not fully invested, there should always be, where there's like a small amount of them but still a decent amount, there should always be direct, like a direct thing that you can see in the game when you buy it. That's how you do it. Where you buy a health upgrade, you get a bit more health. Make it very direct, make it very clear. That makes it more satisfying when you see like the health bar increase, or the fact that an enemy that would take 3 punches now takes 2. That's satisfying. But this game doesn't do that. And now we have finally got to the boss.
Jessica, this isn't right.
I'm losing control.
What great voice acting. I'm glad I shut up for that. Anyway, so another one-on-one fight. So this actually breaks the trend. So this fight is harder than Jackal because there's 2 attacks you gotta look out for, and those are her laser beams attacks. If you get too close to her, eventually she will then unleash a pulse around her, and that does a ton of damage. So this fight is similar to Jackal, where you can really beat her up quite well, but unlike Jackal, she does have those laser beam attacks. I don't know what they're called, so I'm just calling them laser beam attacks. I don't know what they're meant to be. She's a symbiote. Why can she fire laser beams? That's never been the thing. But yeah, so just look out for those. Don't stay too close to her for too long, because otherwise she'll do the pulse around her, and that will really hurt. And as long as you avoid the laser beams, it's a pretty easy boss battle.
Uh-oh. Look, I'll just take the blame. plans and catch up with you later. We'll look back on this and laugh someday. Go for Spidey.
Okay, and with that we now have the data and one more piece in the puzzle. So Nick Fury kind of calls you up and is a bit annoyed, but whatever. I don't care. Do you care? I don't care. Whatever. But yeah, that was it. That boss fight, you can lose to it. You don't really need to use your summons. I kind of used a couple of summons just to show him off because I want to show off all the summons at this point. So we get a quick look at what the skill manager is, and there we go. These are the stuff you can buy, so that's what I was talking about before. But anyway, next time in Let's Play Spider-Man Web of Shadows Amazing Allies Edition for the PS2, we will continue our quest to build this Sonic whatever and find another piece of the puzzle. Or whatever, I don't know. So I've been HonestOn23. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.